Hello, and welcome back to Mr. English Lab. My name is Luna, and I'm here to guide you on your journey to clear, confident, and natural English. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a lesson. Your support truly helps this channel grow. Alright, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin today's session. I want you to imagine this moment very clearly, because maybe you have lived it before, or maybe you're afraid it will happen one day. You are standing in front of people. Maybe they are your classmates. Maybe they are your coworkers. Maybe they are strangers. All eyes are on you. The room feels quiet, too quiet, like the air itself is waiting. Your heart is beating fast. Your hands feel cold. Your mouth feels dry. You know you need to speak in English, but inside your head, everything feels confused. Words that you knew yesterday are hiding today. Simple sentences suddenly feel hard. You think, what if I make a mistake? You think, what if they laugh? You think, what if my accent sounds bad? And in that moment, fear becomes louder than your voice. This is the silent fear of public speaking in English, and today, in this story, we will walk through it together, slowly, kindly, step by step. This is not just a lesson. This is a journey. And it starts with a person just like you. Our story begins with a man named Alex. Alex is not special. He is not famous. He is not confident. He is simply someone who wants to speak better English. Alex learned English in school. He knows grammar rules. He can read articles. He can understand movies with subtitles. But speaking, especially speaking in public, feels like a wall he cannot climb. Every time Alex needs to speak English in front of others, his body reacts before his mind can think. His shoulders become tight. His breath becomes short. His voice becomes small. One day, Alex gets an email from his company. The email says there will be a meeting next week. In this meeting, Alex must give a short presentation in English. Just 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes. But when Alex reads this email, his stomach drops. 5 minutes feels like 5 hours. His mind starts to race. He imagines standing there, forgetting everything, looking foolish. That night, Alex cannot sleep well. He keeps thinking, why is this so hard for me? And maybe, as you listen now, you feel the same question inside you. Alex decides to prepare. He opens his notebook. He writes his ideas. He writes full sentences. He checks grammar. He checks spelling. Everything looks fine on paper. But when he tries to read it out loud, something strange happens. His voice sounds different. Slower. Less confident. He stops often. He repeats words. He feels embarrassed, even though he is alone in his room. This is the first challenge in our story. Knowing English is not the same as speaking English. And speaking English alone is not the same as speaking English in public. Public speaking adds pressure. It adds fear. It adds the feeling of being watched. Alex starts to think that confidence is something you either have or you don't. He believes confident speakers are born that way. He believes he is not one of them. This belief becomes heavy inside him, like a stone. A few days later, something small but important happens. Alex goes to a cafe. He sits near a table where an older man is talking to a group of people in English. The man is not perfect. He makes small mistakes. His accent is strong. But people are listening. They are smiling. They are interested. The man speaks slowly. He pauses. He uses simple words. He tells a story about his life. Alex listens carefully. He notices something surprising. The man does not look nervous. He looks calm, comfortable, real. And Alex realizes something for the first time. Confidence is not about perfect English. Confidence is about connection. This moment is quiet, but it plants a seed in Alex's mind. That night, Alex thinks deeply. He asks himself, why am I really afraid? He understands that his fear is not about grammar. It is about judgment. He is afraid of being seen as weak or stupid or not good enough. He remembers times from the past. School days when classmates laughed at mistakes. Moments when teachers corrected him too harshly. These memories are still alive inside him. They speak to him when he wants to speak. They say, be careful. Don't make mistakes. Alex realizes that his fear has a history. And understanding this feels painful, but also freeing. Because when you understand fear, you can start to change it. Alex decides to try something new. Instead of writing perfect sentences, he starts talking to himself. He speaks out loud while walking in his room. He talks about simple things. His day, his coffee, his work. He speaks slowly. He allows mistakes. At first, it feels strange. But after a few days, something changes. His voice feels more natural. His words come more easily. He is not performing. He is communicating. This is an important exploration in our story. Alex is learning that speaking confidently is not about sounding smart. It is about sounding human. As the presentation day comes closer, Alex still feels nervous. Fear does not disappear suddenly, but it changes shape. It becomes less sharp, more manageable. On the morning of the presentation, Alex stands in front of a mirror. He looks at himself and says, I don't need to be perfect. I just need to be clear. He practices his opening line again and again. He chooses simple words. He chooses a calm pace. He chooses to tell a small story instead of giving many facts. This choice is important. Stories help people listen. Stories help speakers relax. Stories feel natural. Now the moment arrives. Alex stands in the meeting room. People are sitting. Some are looking at their phones. Some are looking at him. Alex feels his heart beating fast, but he takes a deep breath. He remembers the man in the cafe. He remembers that connection is more important than perfection. He starts speaking. His voice shakes a little at first. He pauses. He breathes. He continues. Something unexpected happens. People are listening. One person nods. Another smiles. Alex makes a small mistake, but no one reacts badly. The world does not end. The room does not collapse. Alex keeps going. Minute by minute, his confidence grows. Not because his English becomes perfect, but because his fear becomes quieter. When Alex finishes, there is a short silence. Then someone claps. Then another. Alex feels something warm inside his chest. Relief. Pride. Transformation. He understands something deeply now. Confidence is built, not found. It grows from action, not waiting. This realization changes how Alex sees himself. He is no longer bad at speaking. He is someone who is learning. Someone who is brave enough to try. After the meeting, Alex reflects on the experience. He knows he still has a long way to go. He will still feel nervous in the future. But now he has a new story to tell himself. A story where he speaks, survives, and even succeeds. And this is the takeaway for you, listening right now. Confidence in public speaking is not a gift for lucky people. It is a skill you build with patience, kindness, and practice. You do not need big words. You do not need a perfect accent. You need a clear message, a calm breath, and the courage to start. As we move forward in this journey, remember Alex. Remember the silent fear, and remember that it can change. In the next part of our story, we will go deeper. We will explore how to train your voice, your mind, and your listening skills so English flows more naturally, even under pressure. For now, take a slow breath. You are here. You are learning. And this is only the beginning. After that meeting, Alex walks home slowly. The city sounds feel different now. Cars pass by. People talk on the street. Someone laughs nearby. Everything feels normal, but inside Alex, something has shifted. He did not become a new person in one day, but a quiet door has opened. He keeps thinking about one question. If I can do this once, can I do it again? This question stays with him, and it leads us into the next part of our story, the part where confidence starts to grow roots, not just leaves. That evening, Alex sits at his small desk. He does not open a grammar book. He does not search for difficult words. Instead, he listens. He listens to his own voice in his head. He realizes something important. When he speaks English, he often tries to sound like someone else. Like a textbook. Like a news reporter. Like a native speaker he heard online. But when he speaks his own language, he never does that. He just speaks. His voice is natural. His rhythm is relaxed. His thoughts flow. This creates a new challenge for Alex. How can he bring his real voice into English? The next day, Alex decides to experiment. He records himself speaking English on his phone. Just 1 minute. He talks about his morning, the weather, his coffee. Nothing special. When he listens back, he feels uncomfortable. He notices his pauses, his accent, his mistakes. His first reaction is to stop, to delete the recording. But then he remembers the meeting. He remembers that people listened, even with mistakes. So he listens again, this time with kindness. He asks himself, is my message clear? And the answer is yes. This moment is small, but powerful. Alex is learning to listen not like a judge, but like a friend. Days pass and Alex keeps this new habit. Every day, he records 1 or 2 minutes of spoken English. Sometimes he feels confident. Sometimes he feels tired. Sometimes he feels frustrated. But he continues. Slowly, he notices changes. His sentences become smoother. His pauses feel more natural. He starts using simple linking words like and, so, because without thinking too much. His voice sounds less tight, less afraid. This is the exploration phase of our story. Alex is not chasing perfection. He is building familiarity. And familiarity reduces fear. One evening, Alex meets his friend Maria. Maria also learned English as a second language. She speaks well, but she still feels shy in groups. Alex tells her about his presentation and his new practice habit. Maria listens carefully. Then she says something interesting. She says, when I speak English, I feel like I'm holding my breath. This sentence stays with Alex. Holding your breath. That is exactly how fear feels. Alex realizes that confidence is connected to breathing. When we are afraid, our breath becomes shallow. Our voice becomes weak. Our thoughts become fast and messy. So Alex starts paying attention to his breath. Before speaking, he breathes in slowly through his nose. Then he breathes out slowly through his mouth. He does this again and again. He practices this at home. He practices this before meetings. He practices this even when ordering coffee. Breath becomes his anchor. Something stable he can return to. This is a turning point. Because now Alex is not fighting fear. He is calming it. At work, Alex begins to speak more in meetings. Not long speeches. Just small comments. Short questions. Simple ideas. Every time he speaks, he feels a little nervous. But every time he finishes, he feels a little stronger. He learns another important lesson. Confidence grows after action, not before. You do not wait to feel confident and then speak. You speak, and then confidence follows. One day, Alex is asked to explain an idea to a new colleague. This time, there is no prepared script. No notes. Just conversation. Alex feels the old fear return for a moment. But he remembers to slow down. He uses simple sentences. He pauses when needed. He watches the listener's face. He adjusts his words. And something beautiful happens. The colleague understands. They ask questions. They smile. The conversation flows. Afterward, Alex feels a quiet joy. This is real communication. This is the real goal of English. But the journey is not always smooth. A few weeks later, Alex has a bad day. He is tired, stressed. In a meeting, someone asks him a question, and his mind goes blank. He stumbles. He uses the wrong word. He feels embarrassed. Old thoughts come back. See? You're not good at this. This is an important challenge in our story. Progress is not a straight line. Bad moments do not erase good ones. Alex goes home feeling heavy. But this time, he does not give up. That night, Alex reflects. He understands that one bad moment does not define him. He remembers all the times he spoke successfully. He remembers the smiles, the nods, the understanding. He decides to treat himself with patience. Just like learning to walk, learning to speak confidently takes time. This reflection helps Alex recover faster than before. Fear still visits, but it no longer stays long. Alex also changes how he listens to English. Before, he listened to understand words. Now he listens to understand rhythm. He listens to podcasts, videos, and talks, not to copy accents, but to feel the flow. He notices how speakers pause, how they repeat ideas, how they use simple language to explain complex thoughts. This improves his listening skills, and at the same time, it improves his speaking. Because listening and speaking are connected. When you hear natural English often, your brain learns the music of the language. One weekend, Alex volunteers at a small community event where people from different countries meet. English is the common language. At first, Alex feels nervous. Many accents. Many speaking styles. But soon, he relaxes. He realizes that everyone is imperfect. Everyone is trying. This environment feels safe. Alex speaks, listens, laughs. He tells a short story about his job. People listen. They ask questions. Alex feels something new. Belonging. He is no longer an outsider to English. He is a user of English. This experience transforms Alex's identity. He stops saying, "I am bad at speaking English." He starts saying, "I am learning to speak English better." This change in language is powerful. Words shape thoughts. Thoughts shape feelings. Feelings shape actions. Alex's actions now come from growth, not fear. At the end of this section of our journey, Alex understands something deeply. Your real voice is not perfect. It is honest. It is clear. It is slow when needed. It pauses. It breathes. And it connects. Public speaking is not about impressing people. It is about sharing something meaningful in a way others can understand. And now, as you listen, think about your own voice. Not the voice you think you should have, but the voice you already have. That voice is enough to begin. In the next part of our story, we will step into bigger spaces, larger audiences, stronger emotions, and we will learn how to stay calm, clear, and confident, even when the pressure grows. There comes a moment in every journey when the space becomes bigger and the light becomes brighter. This is the moment when fear often returns, not quietly, but loudly. For Alex, this moment arrives on a rainy morning when his manager sends a message to the whole team. The message says there will be a company event next month. Many people, a big room, and one speaker from each team. When Alex reads the message, his heart slows for a second. Then it starts beating fast again. He knows what this means. This is not a small meeting. This is not a safe conversation. This is standing in the light. At first, Alex hopes someone else will volunteer. He tells himself, I've already improved. I don't need to do this. But deep inside, another voice speaks. A quieter voice, but a stronger one. It says, this is how you grow. Alex does not answer immediately. He spends the day thinking. Fear and courage sit together in his mind. By the end of the day, Alex surprises himself. He sends a short message, I can speak for our team. When he clicks send, his hand shakes. But after, he feels calm. The decision is made. Now the real work begins. Alex has 1 month. For weeks. 30 days. This feels like both a long time and no time at all. At first, he tries to plan everything. He writes notes. He writes sentences. He times himself. He listens to recordings. He feels overwhelmed. His mind becomes noisy again. Too many thoughts. Too many worries. This is the challenge of this section. When the stage becomes bigger, the mind can become crowded. One evening, Alex remembers something simple. The best moments he had speaking English were not perfect. They were real. They were clear. They were calm. So he changes his plan. He chooses one simple message. Just one. He asks himself, if people remember only one thing, what should it be? This question changes everything. Instead of trying to say many things, he decides to say one thing well. This reduces pressure. This creates focus. Alex decides to start his talk with a story. Not a joke. Not a fact. A story. A short story about his first day at the company and how confused he felt. He practices telling this story out loud. Again and again. Not memorizing, but feeling. He changes words. He adjusts pauses. He notices when the story feels natural and when it feels forced. This practice feels different from before. It feels alive. As the event day gets closer, Alex practices in different ways. He practices standing up. He practices looking at a wall like it is an audience. He practices speaking slowly, even when his mind wants to rush. He practices breathing before starting. These small actions build a quiet strength. Fear is still there, but it is no longer in control. The night before the event, Alex cannot sleep well. Old thoughts visit him again. What if I forget? What if my voice shakes? What if people judge me? He sits on his bed and listens to the rain outside. He remembers something important. Fear means you care. It means this matters to you. And that is not a bad thing. He takes a deep breath and lets the fear be there without fighting it. Slowly, he falls asleep. The next day, the room is big. Very big. Lights. Chairs. People talking loudly. Alex feels small. For a moment, he wants to leave. But he stays. He sits quietly and listens to other speakers. Some are confident. Some are nervous. Some make mistakes. The world does not end for any of them. This helps Alex relax. He realizes he is not alone in this feeling. Then his name is called. Alex walks to the front. The light feels warm on his face. He cannot see all the faces clearly. This is good. He takes his position. He pauses. Just for 2 seconds. He breathes in. He breathes out. And then he begins. His voice is calm. Not loud. Not fast. Calm. He tells a story. He sees a few smiles. He hears soft laughter at the right moment. This gives him energy. He continues. He forgets one small detail, but he does not stop. He moves forward. His message is clear. His English is simple. His heart is open. Time moves differently now. Faster. Lighter. When Alex finishes, the room is quiet for a moment. Then comes applause. Real applause. Alex feels something rise inside him. Not pride, but gratitude. Gratitude to himself for not giving up. Gratitude to the journey. He walks back to his seat, and his legs feel weak, but his mind feels strong. After the event, many people come to talk to him. They say, "Your story was clear. I liked how simple it was. I understood everything." No one mentions mistakes. No one talks about accent. They talk about connection. This is the realization of this section. People remember how you make them feel, not how perfect your English is. In the days after the event, Alex reflects deeply. He understands that public speaking is not a performance. It is a conversation, even with many people. You speak, they listen. You share, they receive. This mindset changes everything. When you stop trying to impress, you start to connect. Alex also notices a change in daily life. Speaking in meetings feels easier. Small talks feel lighter. Even speaking on the phone feels less scary. The big stage made the small stages feel safe. This is transformation. Growth in one area spreads to others. Now, let's pause for a moment and talk directly to you. Maybe you are afraid of standing in the light. Maybe you avoid situations where you must speak English in front of others. This is natural. But remember, Alex. Remember that fear does not disappear before you act. It changes after you act. You do not need to wait until you are ready. Readiness is built by doing. The takeaway from this part of the story is simple and powerful. Choose one clear message. Speak slowly. Breathe. Tell a story. Allow mistakes. Stay present. Confidence is not loud. It is calm. In the next section, we will go even deeper. We will explore the inner voice. The voice that speaks before you speak. We will learn how to train that voice to support you, not stop you. This is where true confidence is born. Every speaker has two voices. One voice is the sound that comes out of the mouth. The other voice is quieter, but much stronger. It lives inside the head. This is the voice that speaks before you speak. For Alex, this inner voice used to be harsh. It used to say, "Be careful. Don't make mistakes. You're not ready." Even after the big event, this voice did not disappear. It simply became softer. And now Alex is ready to face it directly. One evening, after a long day, Alex sits alone in his apartment. The room is quiet. He thinks about how far he has come. Then suddenly, a familiar thought appears. What if next time you fail? This thought feels heavy. Alex realizes something important. Confidence is not the absence of negative thoughts. It is the ability to respond to them. This realization becomes the starting point of a new kind of practice. Alex begins to notice his thoughts like a listener, not a believer. When his inner voice says, "Your English is not good enough," he does not fight it. He asks, "Is this true?" He remembers real evidence. Meetings. Conversations. The big event. Slowly, he learns to answer fear with facts. This changes the relationship he has with his own mind. At the same time, Alex changes the words he uses with himself. Instead of saying, "I can't speak confidently," he says, "I am learning to speak confidently." This small change feels strange at first. But words matter. Language shapes reality. When Alex uses kinder language with himself, his body responds. His shoulders relax. His breath deepens. His voice feels stronger. Alex also learns to prepare mentally, not just linguistically. Before speaking situations, he closes his eyes for a moment and imagines himself speaking calmly. He imagines finishing sentences clearly. He imagines people listening and understanding. This is not magic. It is training. The brain learns through repetition, even imagined repetition. This practice reduces surprise and fear. One day, Alex is asked to speak without warning. A client asks him a question in front of others. There is no time to prepare. The old fear tries to rise. But Alex notices it. He breathes. He buys time by saying, "That's a good question. Let me think for a moment." This simple sentence gives him space. He answers slowly. Not perfectly, but clearly. This moment shows him that confidence also means allowing silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. As weeks pass, Alex becomes more aware of his inner world. He notices that fear often comes from trying to control everything. When he lets go of control, speaking becomes easier. He accepts that mistakes will happen. He accepts that not everyone will be impressed. And in this acceptance, he finds freedom. Alex also begins to help others. A new colleague struggles with speaking English. Alex listens. He shares his story. He speaks honestly about fear. This helps both of them. Teaching something reinforces learning. Alex sees himself differently now. Not as someone who is bad at English, but as someone who understands the journey. The inner voice changes slowly. It becomes more supportive. It says, "You've done this before. Take your time. You're clear." This voice does not shout. It guides. This is transformation at the deepest level. As we come to the end of this section, remember this. The most important conversation you have is the one inside your head. When you change that conversation, everything else follows. In the final section, we will bring everything together. We will reflect on the full journey and talk about how you can continue growing with confidence, clarity, and calm in your English speaking life. Every journey needs a moment to slow down, to look back, and to understand what really changed. For Alex, this moment comes quietly, not on a stage, not in a meeting, but on a normal day that feels almost boring. He is sitting in a cafe, the same kind of cafe where he once listened to an older man speak English with calm confidence. Alex is drinking coffee, listening to people around him talk in different languages. And suddenly, he realizes something simple but powerful. English no longer feels like an enemy. It feels like a tool, a bridge, a part of his life. Alex thinks about the past version of himself. The version who was afraid to speak. The version who believed confidence was something other people had. He feels compassion for that version. He understands now that fear was never a sign of weakness. It was a sign that he cared. And caring is the beginning of growth. Public speaking in English did not become easy overnight. It became familiar. And familiarity is stronger than courage. Because when something is familiar, your body relaxes. Your mind slows down. Your voice finds its rhythm. Alex understands now that confidence is not a big moment. It is many small moments collected over time. Alex still feels nervous sometimes. Before important talks, before new situations, before speaking with people he respects. But the fear no longer controls him. It walks beside him. And this changes everything. He no longer asks, "How can I stop being nervous?" He asks, "How can I speak clearly even when I'm nervous?" This question leads to real confidence. Alex continues practicing, but his practice looks different now. He listens more. He speaks more. He does not hide. He does not rush. He allows himself to be human in English. And because of this, people trust him more. They listen. They respond. They connect. One day, Alex is asked to mentor a small group of new employees. The company wants him to help them feel comfortable speaking English at work. When he hears this, he smiles. Not because he feels perfect, but because he feels ready. Ready to share the truth. Ready to say, "You don't need perfect English. You need clear ideas and a calm voice." In the first session, Alex tells them a story. Not a success story. A fear story. He talks about shaking hands, dry mouth, racing thoughts. The room becomes quiet. People recognize themselves in his words. This is the power of storytelling. It creates safety. It creates trust. And in that space, learning begins. Alex teaches them simple things. Slow down. Breathe. Use simple words. Pause. Repeat ideas. Speak to connect, not to impress. As he speaks, he realizes something beautiful. He is no longer just learning confidence. He is living it. Now, let's turn the light gently toward you. You may still feel afraid of public speaking in English. You may feel your heart race. You may feel your mind go blank. This does not mean you are bad at English. It means you are human. And humans learn through experience, not avoidance. You do not need a perfect accent. You do not need big words. You do not need fast speech. You need clarity. You need breath. You need patience with yourself. And most of all, you need practice in real moments, not just in your head. Confidence grows when you speak even when your voice shakes. Pause instead of panic. Accept mistakes instead of fighting them. Listen deeply to others. Tell simple stories. Every time you do this, you are training your brain to feel safe while speaking English. And safety is the foundation of fluency. Remember this. People are not waiting for you to fail. They are waiting to understand you. When you focus on being understood, not being perfect, your English becomes stronger naturally. Your listening improves. Your speaking flows. Your fear loses power. This is the final realization of our journey. You do not become a confident speaker one day in the future. You become one each time you choose to speak today. So the next time you stand in front of people, or sit in a meeting, or raise your hand to speak, take a slow breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Speak one clear sentence. Then another. Let your real voice come out. You are not starting from zero. You are continuing a journey. There is a quiet moment that comes after growth. It is not loud. It is not exciting. But it is deep. For Alex, this moment arrives months later, when he suddenly realizes that he no longer thinks so much before speaking English. The fear has not disappeared, but it has moved to the background, like a soft sound you barely notice anymore. English has become part of his daily rhythm, like walking or breathing. One morning, Alex is on a video call with people from different countries, different accents, different speaking speeds. In the past, this situation would have made him tense. He would have prepared sentences in his head while others were speaking. He would have worried about when to jump in. But today, something is different. Today he listens fully. He understands the main ideas, even if he misses some words. And when it is his turn, he speaks naturally. Not fast. Not perfect. But clear. After the call ends, Alex leans back in his chair and smiles quietly. This is not a big victory moment. There is no applause. But this is real confidence. Confidence that lives in normal life, not just on stages. Alex starts to notice how his listening skills have changed. Before, when someone spoke fast English, his mind would panic. Now he listens for meaning, not every word. He lets sounds pass. He catches key ideas. He stays calm. This calmness helps his speaking too. Because when you listen without fear, you speak without pressure. One afternoon, Alex meets Maria again, the friend who once said she felt like she was holding her breath when speaking English. They sit together and talk. Maria tells Alex she has started practicing breathing before speaking, just like he suggested. She says it helps. Alex listens and feels something warm inside. He realizes that confidence spreads. When one person becomes calmer, others feel it too. Alex's life has not changed completely. He still has problems. He still gets tired. He still makes mistakes. But one thing has changed deeply. He trusts himself when he speaks. And trust is stronger than talent. Sometimes, Alex remembers his first presentation. The fear, the shaking hands, the dry mouth. He feels grateful for that version of himself. Because that version did not run away. That version stayed. That version spoke. And every confident speaker begins with a version like that. Now, let's slow down and speak directly to you again. If you are listening to this and thinking, I want to speak like that, remember this. Alex did not wake up confident. Alex practiced being calm. Alex allowed himself to be slow. Alex accepted mistakes. You can do the same. Public speaking is not about being brave all the time. It is about being present. When you are present, you notice your breath. You notice your words. You notice the people listening. And when you notice these things, fear has less space to grow. You do not need to speak more, you need to speak more gently. Slow speech is not weak speech. Simple words are not poor words. Pauses are not failures. They are signs of control. As you continue your English journey, remember to practice in real life. Speak in small moments. Speak in safe places. Speak even when your voice is quiet. Every time you do, you are teaching your brain that English is safe. And one day, without noticing exactly when, you will look back and realize something beautiful. You are no longer trying to be confident. You are simply speaking. This is the final transformation, not becoming someone new, but becoming more yourself in English. There is a beautiful moment in language learning that many people do not talk about. It is the moment when English stops feeling like a test and starts feeling like a place. A place you can enter without fear. A place where you can rest, think, and express yourself. For Alex, this moment does not arrive suddenly. It arrives quietly in pieces, spread across many ordinary days. One evening, Alex is walking home after work. He is tired. His mind is calm. He is thinking in English without trying. Not full sentences. Just small thoughts. Simple ideas. I need food. It was a long day. The air feels cool. He suddenly notices this and stops walking for a second. He smiles. This is new. Before, thinking in English felt forced. Heavy. Like work. Now it feels natural. Light. Like the language has found a home inside him. Alex understands now that confidence is not something you turn on. It is something that grows when fear is no longer fed. And fear is fed by pressure. Pressure to be perfect. Pressure to be fast. Pressure to sound like someone else. When Alex released that pressure, his English began to breathe. At work, new challenges appear. A new project. New meetings. New responsibilities. With new challenges, fear sometimes returns. But it no longer surprises Alex. He welcomes it like an old visitor. He says, I know you. And because of that, fear loses its power. One day, Alex is asked to explain a difficult idea to a group of people who are not experts. In the past, this would have scared him. Difficult ideas in English felt impossible. But now Alex does something simple. He breaks the idea into small parts. He uses everyday words. He repeats the main point. He checks understanding by watching faces, not grammar rules. And it works. People understand. They ask questions. The conversation flows. After the meeting, Alex reflects again. He realizes that good speaking is not about how much English you know. It is about how well you care for the listener. When you care, you slow down. You simplify. You explain. This is true confidence. Alex also notices something else. He laughs more in English now. Jokes are still hard, but small humor comes naturally. A smile. A light comment. A shared moment. These moments make English feel warm, not cold. Human, not mechanical. Sometimes, Alex meets people who say, you speak English very confidently. When he hears this, he feels surprised. Because inside, he still feels like a learner. And that is the truth. Confident speakers never stop being learners. They simply stop being afraid of learning in public. Now, let's pause again and bring this story closer to you. You may still feel that English is something outside of you, something you must reach, something you must chase. But one day, if you keep going gently, you will notice the same thing Alex noticed. English will stop standing in front of you. It will start walking beside you. This happens when you stop translating every word, you listen for meaning, you allow silence, you forgive mistakes quickly. And most importantly, when you speak even when you are unsure. Do not wait for English to feel easy before you use it, and it will slowly become easy. Public speaking, conversations, meetings, presentations, these are not enemies. They're teachers. Each one shows you something about yourself. Each one gives you a chance to grow. As this section comes to an end, remember this takeaway. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is comfort. When you feel comfortable, your voice becomes steady. When your voice is steady, people listen. When people listen, confidence grows. In the next and final extension of our journey, we will talk about how to keep this confidence alive for years, not days. How to protect it, how to grow it, and how to return to it when life becomes difficult again. Every journey needs an ending, but a good ending does not feel like a stop. It feels like a soft hand on your back, saying, keep going. This is that moment. For Alex, confidence in English is no longer something he chases. It is something he carries with him quietly every day. Life continues to bring new situations, new rooms, new faces, new expectations. Sometimes Alex speaks in front of many people. Sometimes he speaks to just one. Sometimes he listens more than he speaks. And all of this is okay. Because confidence is not about always talking. It is about being comfortable when you do. There are days when Alex feels tired. On those days, his English feels slower. His sentences are shorter. His energy is lower. But now he does not judge himself. He understands that language lives inside a human body, and human bodies have good days and bad days. This understanding protects his confidence. He no longer attacks himself for being imperfect. Alex also learns how to return to confidence when it feels far away. He returns to basics. He slows down. He breathes. He uses simple words. He reminds himself of past moments of success. These small actions bring him back to center. Confidence, he learns, is something you can return to again and again. Sometimes, Alex meets people who are at the beginning of their English journey. He can see fear in their eyes. The same fear he once had. He does not tell them, don't be afraid. Instead, he tells them, it's okay to be afraid. This honesty creates trust. And trust creates space for growth. Now, let's bring everything back to you, the listener. If you remember only one thing from this long story, let it be this. You do not need to change who you are to speak English confidently. You need to allow who you are to speak English. Your pace is okay. Your accent is okay. Your pauses are okay. They are part of your voice. Confidence is built when you show up even when unsure. Speak one clear sentence at a time. Breathe before you begin. Listen with patience. Forgive yourself quickly. This is how English becomes natural. This is how public speaking becomes possible. This is how fear loses its grip. So the next time you are asked to speak, do not ask yourself, am I good enough? Ask yourself, can I be clear? Clarity is enough. Thank you for spending this time with Mr. English Lab. Thank you for listening slowly. Thank you for believing in your voice. This story does not end here. It continues every time you speak.